Hey everyone, so I was going to title this video What's Inside My Toy Box, but I decided that wouldn't make much sense since I have multiple toy boxes filled with different figures. For example, I have a huge toy box filled with random Transformer figures. I have about 2 boxes filled with Ninja Turtles, 3 boxes filled with Dragon Ball Z figures since I used to be a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan. And I still like Dragon Ball to this very day. I'm just not as crazy about it like I used to be. But I have another box filled with Jurassic World stuff, another one filled with Marvel Legends stuff, and so on. So I decided I'm just going to call this video Some of My Old Toys, because that's exactly what this is. At least some of the ones that are not given away by my mother, because I had way more than this, but they were all given away by my mom, and I decided to keep these ones safe under my bed so people cannot give these away, damn it. But anyways, let's take a look at what I have of some of my old toys here. So I have a Doc Ock figure here. Now this, I think I got this one from Target one day, from one of the Spider-Man lines that they came out with, and the tentacles are bendable so you could pose them in you know, different positions there. And this particular Doc Ock, you can actually fill the backpack here with water, and after you fill it up with water, you just push down on the pump and it'll squirt water out of the tentacles, which is pretty cool. So that's a random Doc Ock figure I have. I also have another Doc Ock figure in here somewhere. We'll get to that, but here is a Venom figure with multiple heads. It has a button on the back, so when you push the button, the heads kind of move up and down a little bit. This is like one of my top favorite Venom figures from back in the day. From, I think Toy Biz made this? I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember who made these ones. It might have been Toy Biz. But yeah, this was on a comic book cover. I think it's the comic book where he fights Juggernaut. I could be mistaken. I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna have to do some research, but I have so many Venom figures, some that will not be shown in this video, some that I will compare to some Marvel Legends figures that I have. So I'll set that aside. I have mutated Morbius here from Spider-Man the Animated Series with a broken tail and a button that make it looks like the blood is pumping through the veins on his chest. Pretty cool. So I'm not too keen on the movie that they're coming out with, because it's supposed to be like a Spider-Man spin-off story, and then Morbius is going to be played by Jared Leto. I hate the fact that they're trying to do like these spin-off Spider-Man films, or you know, Spider-Man characters or whatever, but whatever. So yeah, that's the mutated Morbius from the Spider-Man animated series back in the 90s. And here is a cloud with wheels on the bottom. This actually came with this Mysterio. You just put him on his cloud and just roll the figure on a flat surface. So this particular Mysterio, there's a button right there on the back. Oh, my camera will not focus, but there we go. So when you push the button, I didn't know if you guys could see that, but there's a little light bulb inside, and that will shine on one of his, I think like 3 or 2 faces he has in there. Yeah, he has about like 3 or 4 faces. Every time you push the button, the heads would rotate inside of his bubble helmet, or his fishbowl helmet, as most people like to call it. So yeah, he's going to be played by Jake Gyllenhaal in the upcoming Spider-Man Far From Home movie. And I'm looking forward to collecting the Marvel Legends version of that Mysterio, of the MCU Mysterio, of course. And I did put in my pre-order for that on Amazon, so can't wait till that arrives. What else do we have here? Hey, a Freddy Krueger figure from NECA with some of his broken blades on his glove. I think I have his hat. His hat is somewhere in there. Just lost underneath the sea of action figures here. So we have the Lizard, also from one of the Spider-Man series that came out a few years ago. Because I think, yeah, Toy Biz kept putting out a lot of different Spider-Man waves. And he kept coming out with a lot of the villains, or re-releasing a lot of the villains, as well as Spider-Man himself. But I had to get this one because I thought it looked cool, and it reminded me a lot of the Lizard from the animated series and the comics, of course. Yeah, Doppelganger. My favorite evil Spider-Man clone. Which, they are coming out with a Marvel Legends version of this guy as part of the Spider-Man Far From Home wave. So here, if I'll hold him over here, and I'll put an image next to him of what the Marvel Legends version is going to look like. So yeah, I can't wait to get the Marvel Legends version of that Doppelganger, because this is one of my favorite toys when I was a kid. Still kept them around, and now that I'm older, I can't believe they're making a Marvel Legends version of him. That's awesome. Carnage. Now this Carnage is from the Spider-Man animated series. This is my first Carnage that I ever owned. And yeah, he still works. See, he comes with like blades that you put on his hand, and when you twist the wrist, it makes it look like he's swinging his arm. I still have the blades. They're lost in here, of course, so I will eventually get to them. So yeah, this is my first Carnage figure. If I can get my camera to focus. I have another Carnage in here. Yeah, here's my other Carnage. This one is mostly posable. Almost as posable as a Marvel Legends figure. So, I actually brought out my Marvel Legends Carnages out here, so hold on, give me 1 second. They're off to the side here. I'm gonna grab them real quick. Alright, so years later, of course, hey, Marvel Legends made a Carnage. And guess what? They made another Carnage that looks better with switchable heads and switchable hands. So yeah, can you tell I'm a big fan of the symbiotes of Carnage and Venom? And the Venom base that came with one of the Venom figures that you're supposed to, like, I think you're supposed to pour ooze on, and it'll cover the action figure. This guy, I forgot his name, but he is from the Spawn comic books. Sorry for my camera not focusing. Come on, there it goes. Yeah, he came with like a bladed weapon that you put in there, and you push a button and he'll launch it out of his hand. Yeah, back when I used to collect tons of Spawn figures. And of course, we're seeing a lot of green here, so yeah, I actually do own quite a few Hulks here. So I'll show off this guy. And this Hulk came packaged with Banner in his lab coat. If I could just find that Banner. Where is he? He should not be that hard to find because he's wearing a white lab coat. Oh, found him. He's behind the Batmobile. So yeah, here's Dr. Bruce Banner that came packaged with this Hulk. He's packaged like right in front of him like this. And it looked awesome, and I felt the need to buy him, and I did. Yeah, he has the spring-loaded arms, so you could do that. Spring-loaded waist, so you can make it look like he's punching something. And here's Banner. Much less articulated, of course, but it's nice to have a Banner figure. Pretty awesome. So, in my what review was that? The Avengers Endgame review. I mentioned I was geeking out over one particular scene of Professor Hulk wearing something very similar to this, and I said in that review I did have the action figure of that, and here's that action figure of Professor Hulk. Now, of course, this came with some accessories. It came with like a shoulder pad piece that you put over his head, and you attach like a giant gun to it. I think it might be in here somewhere. So here's a piece of it. The gun is lost in there somewhere, but yeah, what you would do is put this over your shoulder like this. Maybe like this? No, maybe... yeah, like this. I think... I can't remember which way it went, but one of these ways. And then, yeah, you would put the gun in there, and he fires a giant gun, just like how he did in the original comics, when Professor Hulk used to look like this. But yeah, there's one particular scene in Avengers Endgame where he was wearing this outfit, and I was geeking out so hard. I was like, oh, I remember that Professor Hulk from the comics. And here he is. I wish they would make a Marvel Legends version of that Hulk, which they are. I've seen that they are coming out with a Build-A-Figure Marvel Legends of Professor Hulk from Endgame, but he's going to be topless. He doesn't have the black tank top on or anything. He doesn't have the Quantum Realm suit on. He's just going to be another topless Hulk figure. So, not too keen on collecting that, but I did put in my pre-order for War Machine and Rescue, or Pepper Potts in the Rescue armor. Alright, so that's another Hulk figure. I have some Marvel Legends Hulks that I will show off next to those. And here is the Marvel Selects Hulk from the first Avengers movie. This is like my first Avengers, or MCU Avengers Hulk that I decided to collect. Because after seeing that movie, I was like, oh man, I definitely want to collect an action figure of one of the characters from that film. And I decided to go for the Marvel Selects Hulk, which is a gigantic. This is a gigantic figure. This is like, I think 7 or 7.5 inches tall. I mean, look, compared to this guy, yeah, he's really, really tall. And compared to like Banner, this guy is a friggin' beast. And compared to the old school Professor Hulk. So, I'm gonna move those to the side. And, here, let me move my tripod over here. So, here's the 3 Hulks. Here's some of the Marvel Legends ones that I have. This is, of course, from the Toy Biz Marvel Legends, back when they used to have the license to make these figures, but now, of course, all these figures are being made by Hasbro, which I don't mind, because they actually have been making some awesome figures, and I think they're doing a good job at making the Marvel Legends. And of course, here's another Marvel Legends Hulk I have from Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, compared with the Diamond Selects Hulk, of course, this guy is just as big as the friggin' package. Probably the biggest MCU Hulk action figure that you can buy. Not counting the Hot Toys, of course, because those are always in a much larger scale and they are much more expensive. So, alright. Let's go back over here. See what else I have in here. So, a random Dr. Herbert figure from The Simpsons that no longer works. It has a button on the back. When you push it, it's supposed to laugh. Aw, it's broken. Yeah, Green Goblin from the 90s animated Spider-Man series. Here, get a close-up of him. There we go. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Radioactive Spider-Man. Alright, so this is one of the Spider Slayers, also from the 90s animated Spider-Man series, that's broken, sadly. He has a broken arm, he has a broken tail. He's supposed to come with a tail in there, of course. So I remember begging my mom to buy this for me because this reminded me so much of the Xenomorphs from the Alien films. And that's why I wanted the Spider Slayer so bad. And I think, actually I no longer have that comic book. I had the comic book of the Spider Slayer in it with Spider-Man fighting him. A loose figure here of Marvel Legends Phantom X with both of his guns in his holster. And I think I did buy this guy loose also, so I do not have his original box. What else? I have a Venom figure here. And it slightly works. I don't know if you could tell, the bottom jaw is moving a little bit from the button on the back right there. Very cool Venom figure. And I also have a Marvel Legends Venom way over here, of course. And I have some more Venom figures that are like stored away somewhere that I have to find. Oh, right, I have this guy from the Spider-Man Classics collection. This is supposed to be like a mid-transformation Venom of, you know, the symbiote covering Eddie Brock. You can sort of see his face in the mouth there. Sort of. There you go. So you have this guy. Oh, I have to reach far over here, sorry. I have that one from the Venom series that came out last year, I think. And of course, the ones I already showed. These two guys. Now, I have my original Venom from the Spider-Man animated series. I think he's in here, and that's the one that you can put the symbiote head on the Eddie Brock head. This is one of them. This is, I think this is the first one that came out, the original one. Does this have a button on the back? No, I could have swore. Oh, that's right, you squeeze the legs. That, yeah. So if I can get my camera to focus on this, there we go. So yeah, you can squeeze the legs, and it'll move the mouth up and down. Yeah, so this is the first Venom figure I ever owned. This is from the cartoon, of course. Now, the second Venom I own, I don't know if he's in here. That's okay. It's not broken. It's reattachable. Where is it? Do I have that Venom? Well, here's a symbiote creature. That looks pretty awesome. It looks menacing. It almost looks like it belongs in the Alien universe, because it almost looks like a xenomorph, but not quite. So yeah, it's a symbiote monster. Oh man, I might no longer have that Venom. That sucks, because that was one of my favorite Venoms from my... Oh no, I found them. Found them, guys. So yeah, this is the second one, so let me get that other one. So yeah, this is the first Venom I ever owned as a kid, and this is the second one. And I really like the second one because, check this out. You can remove the symbiote head from his human face there. You can see Eddie Brock, the original Eddie Brock. That's what he looked like in the cartoons and the comics. And you could put the symbiote head back over his human head and make him look like Venom. So yeah, I love playing with this thing all the time. I think I'm out of Venoms. Here's another Hulk-related figure. Now this is a Hulk villain. I forgot his name. He's actually in one of the Hulk cartoons. I think it was like one of the Incredible Hulk cartoons. I can't remember which one. But yeah, he has the soft fur on his back. Feels very soft. But if you look between the fur, he actually has like spikes growing out of his spines there. That's just a random Hulk villain that I always kept. And I always thought he looked cool, so yeah. There you go. Alright. Oh yeah, I have a few Apocalypse figures. So this is from not Age of Apocalypse? Is it Age of Apocalypse? No, this guy is from Age of Apocalypse. I forgot. This guy might be from Age of Apocalypse too, I'm not sure. But I always thought this one looked cool, so that's why I bought him. This one, he actually has the removable cape. And his fist, you could actually remove those and swap them out for like weapons that he came with. Like he came with like a saw blade arm that you could attach on either arm. And he's one of my favorite Apocalypse figures as a kid, or as a teen. Forgot when this came out. And I have the original Apocalypse figure from the old school Toy Biz line. Back when I used to beg my parents to buy me tons of X-Men and Spider-Man figures. And you can actually detach the arms and put one of his weaponized arms on there. Same thing with the other side too. So I actually have Marvel Legends Apocalypse, the original one right here. And I have the Build-A-Figure of Apocalypse. All of those figures are on my wall. I decided not to get them for this video, but you can pretty much guess what the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse looks like. He's very huge and awesome looking. So yeah, I have so many Apocalypse figures. Alright. Of course, this gigantic thing, the Blackbird from X-Men, which, here, let's see if I could reattach all the pieces. So this swing... So sorry for the sudden skip in the video. My camera did shut off, which means I'm going to have to speed the rest of this up. But anyways, I did find the extra piece that attached under there. And unfortunately, the batteries are dead on this. It no longer works. Because when you push these buttons on the trigger, one makes the sound of flight, and the other one makes the sound of blasters or lasers. And this thing makes one of the missiles, or both missiles, supposed to... Ah! Yeah, there they go. Both missiles shot out at me, so... Yeah, those just go back in really easy. Man, that sucks that the batteries are dead, but you can fold that up underneath there, and of course, every time you do that, it'll make the landing gears come out. Yeah, all three landing gears. Or you could do that without the handle. So this part keeps coming detached on me, so if I could just reattach it somehow. There we go. Oh, it's not working. Why? Why? Please, do not. There, okay. So anyways, I don't know if you saw who was sitting inside there, but it's the action figure that came packaged with this Blackbird. So all you have to do is push back down on the cockpit piece right there and take out whichever figure that you decide to put in the cockpit there. So the character or figure that I decided to put in there is Wolverine, because this is the figure that came packaged with the Blackbird, and it's a fully posable Wolverine figure, almost as posable as a Marvel Legends. But yeah, he just looks awesome. So there you go. I just wish the batteries didn't die. That's unfortunate. It did work for a couple of years. Of course, batteries do not last forever. So here's the other Doc Ock figure I was talking about, with the loose tentacles that are all over the place. So yeah, guys, a lot of this stuff is going to be... Did they break off? Oh, that's unfortunate. They broke off. Here, I'll hold it up close to the camera. Focus, please focus. Yeah, the part where they went in there, it actually broke off from that part. Wow, that sucks. Well, easy fix with super glue, I suppose. But anyways, this is the other Doc Ock that I own. I do own a Marvel Selects version that's stored away in one of my boxes. So I could compare them with the other one I took out earlier. So perfectly good one and a slightly broken one, but that's okay. I have an Iron Man figure from the first movie. I am Iron Man. Snap. So I actually own a few Iron Mans. I do own a Marvel Legends version from Toy Biz that's based off the comics. I own about 2 figures from Iron Man 2. I own the one from Avengers Age of Ultron, one of the Marvel Legends, that is. So I do own a few different Iron Man figures, but I still have my first one from the first MCU movie that started it all. Alright. So here I have Man-Spider, which is pretty much a mutated version of Spider-Man with a muzzle over him, which it is removable. There we go. Jeez, that took some effort. But this is also one of my favorite figures I used to play around with all the time, and this was on the 90s animated TV show. I believe it was one of the episodes when Spider-Man grew extra arms and Punisher was hunting him down, and at the end, Spider-Man fully mutated into this thing. And I actually have a more collectible version of this guy right here from the Spider-Man's Classics collection, which looks pretty cool. Side by side, I have the old school Toy Biz version, and I have the new school Toy Biz version. Sorry for the glare. So that was a fun character to watch in the cartoon, and seeing how Punisher was terrified of him after he mutated into that 6-armed beast, into the Man-Spider is what they call it. So here's a random Batman figure that I have, which my camera needs to focus on. There we go. This guy actually came with like a demonic looking motorcycle, which I no longer have the motorcycle, but I still have Batman. Alright. The Power Rangers from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy with some armor pieces on them. The rest of the armor pieces are in here scattered about. I'm not going to bother searching for them because I need to hurry this video up as quickly as possible. So this is a Batman figure from Batman Begins, when he was training with the League of Shadows. And you can actually remove his ninja mask and reveal his Bruce Wayne face. A Rhino here. I think this is the Ultimate Rhino from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, because he has a more mechanical looking design to his costume. And yeah, spring-loaded waist there, so you could do that. And you squeeze the legs, I think, and his head moves. It doesn't quite work that well. Well, his arms move, but his head is supposed to move too. Yeah, just a little bit. So that's a cool looking Rhino figure that I have. Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie, directed by Sam Raimi. Godspeed, Spider-Man. I also have his glider and his pumpkin bombs. They're lost in there amongst the other stuff. But I'm just gonna go over most of the figures instead of the accessories because this video has already gone on for long enough, so let's continue. I have Batman from Batman Begins. in the 5 or a 6-inch basic line. The soft cloth cape, which reminds me a lot of the Batman Return figures from back in the day by Mattel, if I'm not mistaken. I think Mattel did do those Batman figures from the old Batman movies. Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, because it's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. I do have his Gunblade, it's in there. Another Spider-Man figure now. This is Hobgoblin, also from the 90s animated series. And he has the spring-loaded arm, so yeah, it still works. So what you're supposed to do is put the pumpkin bomb in his hand, and then hold it up like that, and you're supposed to throw the pumpkin bomb. So I have Green Goblin and Hobgoblin. Where did I put Green Goblin? There he is. So put those two side by side. As you can tell, I was a big fan of the 90s Spider-Man animated series back in the day, as well as Batman. I did like Batman the animated series and X-Men, big fan of those. So I have Bane right here. Now this Bane is from Batman and Robin? Yeah, Batman and Robin. Because Bane was in that movie with Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. However, they made the figure look more like how he did in the comics. So I was very pleased with the figure. Was not pleased with his version in the movie, because they kind of ruined how he's supposed to be from the comics. But anyways, I have Peter Parker here from the first movie in his wrestling suit, and you could actually take the rubber pants off to reveal his Spider-Man costume. He also has the rubber shirt. You can see underneath that he's wearing the Spider-Man getup, and the mask is also removable, revealing Peter Parker. There we go. Yeah, it's a spider symbol on the back of the shirt as well, and on his Spider-Man costume. Alright. What else do I have in here? Oh, yeah, a random Spider-Man figure. I think this one is from the old school Toy Biz ones from the animated series. Because they made like a couple of random figures that are kind of like loosely based off the animated series, but they were not shown on the show. Oh yeah, Chameleon! I can't believe I still have Chameleon. But this guy, once again, from the animated series, and you're supposed to like take off his head and switch it with other heads, because that's his special ability, is to I think he like had masks on the show, different masks, and he could look like anybody he wanted to look like. But for the toy, you could actually switch different heads with different characters, which was pretty neat, with the device on his belt there. Let's see. I have Spider Carnage. I was very happy to see this guy on the animated series in that one episode where they had the different Spider-Man clones, where Spider-Man or Peter Parker was teaming up with all the different Spider-Mans from different dimensions. There's actually a Marvel Legends version of this guy out there, which I did not collect, but maybe one day. So that's Spider Carnage. I have Magneto here, and his cape that came detached from his back. So there we go. Oh, his helmet. Yeah. Where is it? Who is this guy again? Is this Ironmonger, right? From the original Iron Man movie. Yeah. I have his helmet. If I don't find it soon, I'm just going to quickly move on. There it is. There it is. Found his helmet, guys, so can actually put that helmet on him. So this is actually my second Magneto that I ever owned. My first one was the original one from the 90s X-Men animated series, where he had the lever on the back, and every time you push down the lever, sparks would like light up on his chest. Like he'd have like a panel cut out in the middle of his chest, and you could actually see sparks like shooting inside of it. And what I did when I was little, I would remove the panel so the sparks could fly out of his chest, just because I thought it was cool. But this Magneto is actually from the Age of Apocalypse storyline, and I do have a Marvel Legends Magneto from the Toy Biz days. So I'm gonna have to reach over here. 1 second. So yeah, this is my original Toy Biz Magneto here. He comes with the Sentinel head as the base, and he looks awesome. And they made like 2 other Marvel Legends Magnetos. They keep re-releasing these characters over time, but they are releasing a special 3-pack on Amazon. He comes packaged with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, which I'll post a picture up next to him. And that's going to be an Amazon exclusive. Pre-orders are already up now. He'll be out in June or July. Don't know if I'll ever collect that one, but it does look sweet, and I do like collecting Marvel Legends. You know, for a while I did take a break from collecting Marvel Legends, but this year I'm starting to get back into it hardcore. Not as hardcore as most serious collectors out there, but I do enjoy what I, like collecting. So here's one of the Goblin's gliders with his weapon wrapped around Scarecrow. Oh no, how am I gonna... Great, just great. Gonna have to... There we go. There we go. So this glider belonged to Green Goblin, I think? And this one belonged to Hobgoblin. But anyways. So this Scarecrow is not actually the Batman Scarecrow or the DC Scarecrow. This is the Marvel Scarecrow. Because Marvel do have... Or they do have their own Scarecrow character. And this came packaged with like multiple items and different characters in a box set. Can't remember which characters this came packaged with, but yeah, this is the Marvel Scarecrow. I have a Kingpin here, the old school Toy Biz Kingpin button on the back, and he slams down his arms. And I'm missing his walking cane that came with like a plastic diamond on the top of it. But yeah, this is a Kingpin from the animated series. Scorpion, which oddly enough, they are re-releasing another Scorpion that looks just like this in the Marvel Legends line. That's going to be part of the Spider-Man Far From Home series. So yeah, I did enjoy this figure quite a bit, and he looks awesome, especially with the metallic green paint on him. I also have another Scorpion that's supposed to be like a movie concept for Spider-Man 3, I think. Of course, he was not used in the movie, but he was used in the video game, I think, for Spider-Man 3. And he has the tail that you could whip around like that, and his visors you can lift up, reveal his face, and put the visors down. You have the blade on his wrist. So yeah, this is like a movie concept Scorpion that I guess was never used for the movie, but you do fight this Scorpion in one of the video games. I think it was the Spider-Man 3 video game. And I have to hurry up before my camera shuts off again. So, a bunch of random accessories. This is Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe. Unfortunately, I do not have Snake Eyes. This is another random Spider-Man figure. Yeah. Here's that giant gun that went on the shoulder of Professor Hulk, so maybe I will demonstrate that for you guys. You know what, I could do that right now. Let me find the other piece. So yeah, this would go on there as for a shoulder cannon. And you just put the whole thing over Hulk like that. And he comes with a missile, and he just launches it. But in the original comics, he was holding like 2 huge guns, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to find that piece of artwork and maybe include it in this video. Alright, so another Spider-Man figure. As I mentioned, I was a huge fan of that animated series. Snake and Meryl from Metal Gear Solid. There we go. Probably wondering, why do I have 2 Batmobiles? One is from Batman Begins, and the other one is from The Dark Knight. I forgot which one is which. I think... Let's see. Okay, yeah. That one is from Batman Begins. Unfortunately, the batteries died on that one. But yeah, you push the buttons, the missiles pop out of the side, and I'm not sure if I can lift that panel up. Well, I can't do it right now, but you can lift the panel up and put an action figure inside there. And this one is my favorite from The Dark Knight, because push one of the buttons and you push the second button, Batman comes shooting out of there on his Batpod motorcycle there. Love this Batmobile. They also made a bigger version, I think, like the more like I think larger size for serious collectors, like the multiverse one for like serious collectors. I don't think I ever bought that. I did buy the one from Justice League though. That one's pretty dang huge. But yeah, the rest of this stuff is just random accessories that go along with the action figures I just shown. But yeah, that's some of my old toys. I really don't want this video to go any longer than it already has. Just looking around to see if I have anything else. Here's a random Scorpion figure. Old school Scorpion from the original Mortal Kombat. Get over here! Focus, camera, focus. Please focus. Thank you. Yeah, but now, of course, they made way better versions of Mortal Kombat toys these days, and hopefully one day I will end up collecting those as well. But thanks for watching. Sorry if this went on for way too long. I didn't think it was going to go on for this long, but I had so many old toys to show or to share with you guys. So I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Adios, stay awesome.